everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome once again to my channel. If you're new, we have a very cool unboxing to share with you guys. If you are an old hat, then you know the drill. We have a very, very heavy parcel. This is part of the group order which I arranged from the European Mint, which we organise over on the Silver Forum. Helps us save on shipping costs when ordering from Europe, which is preferential for us because of sales tax. All of that jazz. If you want to find out more about the group orders, there's a link down in the description below. Now this is box one of 3, 4, 5 boxes. I don't know quite how many are going to come because we've set some incredible records via these group orders. A couple of weekends ago, the potentially very last ever group order was sorted out, was organised, and in one weekend alone, Silver Forum members purchased, one weekend alone this is, remember, they purchased something like 30,000, that's right, 30,000 euros. I think it was 31,000 something or other worth of silver. So yeah, it's pretty monumental, and it could well be the last one that we do because of Brexit, which is a lovely topic, and I'm not going to really talk about that today because it's just very frustrating. What I do want to talk about today though, as I go through this unboxing, is the question of what would you do if silver shot the moon? What would you do if silver suddenly jumped up to monumental price levels? Now, for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, you will know that I like to think of myself as a bit of a realist when it comes to stacking and silver investing. I am not somebody who genuinely believes that the US dollar will collapse, for example, and you know, we're going to see calamitous prices of fiat currencies and consequently then silver, gold, precious metals shooting the moon. I just don't think that's a likely scenario. I think it's going to be a great hedge against inflation, but I don't think we're going to see what I see a lot of other channels talking about, which is shooting the moon, so to speak. And I think it's really important always to remember that. So what we're going to talk about today is not any kind of financial advice, it's kind of hypotheticals, what you might do in that situation, what you would do with your silver, what perhaps we would do in the Backyard Bullion household with our silver if something like that happened, if it went to $100 an ounce, $1,000 an ounce. It's not financial advice though, so bear that in mind, and do let me know your thoughts as well as we go through the video. Now, $100 an ounce silver, is it something that would cause you to completely sell up all of your stack? Oh, really struggling to get this last box out. It's, I think, a question that a lot of people need to ask themselves as to why they're stacking in the first place, which comes back to kind of my realist stance, which I talk about all the time, in that I just don't think it's likely. And it's not part of my stacking strategy. It's not part of our stacking strategy, I should say, as well. Mrs. Backyard Bullion was always, you know, when I tell her about the next, you know, bit of silver that we need to be maybe looking at, the next Queen's Beast and things like that, we always look at it as that longer term kind of pension style investment rather than, oh yeah, we're going to make millions on this in a few months' time when the dollar collapses or when the pound collapses, or, you know, it's a nice hedge, it's a nice inflation busting kind of hedge to have, but it's, in my opinion, just not going to happen. But if it did, what would we do? And what kind of would the world do, I suppose, is the question. And I've seen a few posts on the Silver Forum recently from people saying, if silver did shoot the moon and everybody was trying to sell, who would actually be buying? Would we be able to sell large quantities of silver? You know, if you've got a very high budget and you are fortunate enough to have a giant stack, the likes of which you're probably going to see an equivalent amount of on this table at the end of this video, would you be able to pop down to a bullion dealer and get full value for your silver, or would you struggle to sell it all at decent prices? Would silver prices from dealers be drastically reduced? It's a really interesting question. And also, when to sell is a really important one as well. Now, I did a video last week about that whole topic of when to sell. That was more around kind of premium style coins and knowing when perhaps the best time to release like the premiums in a coin if you've bought something which has got a really big collector base. Not necessarily what is happening with spot prices and metal prices generally. Oh, right, before we crack on, let's just have a look at the very first bit of silver that's come out of this box. Watch, it's taken me 5 minutes to get to the first bit of silver. This is the latest batch of silver grain that I have for me, for the backyard bullion production line. So that's a very good little addition to have in this package. And then we hopefully will get to some silver coins that people have ordered. So one of the other things, I've always talked about, you know, the dealer route as being a really great place to take your metals to and sell. And in that situation where, let's say, silver's shot the moon, it's up to £100 an ounce or more, can you do it? Well, we've got a video coming out in the near future where we head on into London and actually meet a bullion dealer. Now, I'm filming this ahead of that, so I don't know quite how that's all gone. So we'll see, I guess, in time, some of the questions that we'll ask them about, you know, how much they pay for various different bits and bobs. Oh, I'll tell you what, this is another really... We've opened the right parcel straight away. This is some gold casting grain. So you guys will be seeing something very special at some point soon on my channel with this gold casting grain. We're going to be doing some hand-poured gold, but it's going to be very special. We'll talk more about that another time, I am sure. So will a dealer pay good prices for it? You know, if you look up online right now, there's various dealers that offer various different prices. I'll just name a few. Hatton Garden Metals, for example, is just a bullion counter in London that you can go into with literally all of your bullion. However, for silver, they really don't pay, in my opinion, particularly great prices. It's like, I think it's at 75% of spot. But if you go to other places like Atkinson's Bullion, you can see that they are offering, in fact, marginally above spot, which is quite impressive for silver. But the question would be is if silver was 100 and something pounds an ounce and you had 3,000 ounces like we have ordered in this particular group purchase, and you rocked on up to Atkinson's Bullion or Hatton Garden Metals, would they even take it? And that's a really, really interesting thought. You know, that's a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money for a bullion company, especially at £100 an ounce, to shell out for, you know, buying all of your silver. And at the end of the day, these companies are there to make money, so they would need to sell that on. And if it's a seller's market, if everybody out there is trying to sell their silver because it's going to make them loads of money, then will they pay good prices? I doubt it. I don't know. I've never been in a situation like that. Now, of course, there was one situation relatively recently. It was before my time in stacking, so I have no personal experience of it. But the prices in 2011, of course, got up to around $50 an ounce in that kind of spike that we saw. And that, I guess, would have been a similar kind of situation to the hypothetical that we're talking about in some respects. I don't really know quite how it would work. So if you were around in that time period, then do let us know your experiences of buying and selling silver and whether or not it was easily done, whether or not you got good prices for it when you were at the top end. Might it be like we saw with the crypto bubbles? So with the crypto bubbles, it was very interesting. You know, Bitcoin got to a very large, very large price, very high price, but there was a lot of transaction fees to get your money out. Sometimes I heard even to 25, 30, 40% even to get your money actually out of cryptocurrencies. And maybe that will be the same situation with a high price of silver if we ever got there. So it's food for thought, definitely, and it's an interesting topic. It's one which I think is quite important to a lot of people who perhaps are stacking for that exact strategy. As I said at the start of this video, it's not my belief that that's ever something that's going to happen, and it's not my expectation that it's going to happen, so it doesn't form part of my strategy, but I'd be intrigued to find out if that's the case for all of you guys. So we've hardly got through this box. It's just so big. In fact, you know, I'm not going to unwrap those. There's a bunch of 10-ounce, what I think are kookaburras in this stack. Huge bunch of 10-ounce coins. This seems to be some of the big stuff. This, perhaps, I think in here are all going to be 10-ounce coins as well. 10-ounce Queen's Beast coins have been incredibly popular to have. Which actually has given me a thought of a sort of similar topic to talk about in terms of shooting the moon silver and the denominations of coins. So there's also been some conversations on the forum I've seen about the different sizes of coins and what is the best size to collect, and it's evident from these group orders that massive 10-ounce coins are very popular. The 10-ounce Queen's Beasts are incredibly popular, and it's got me thinking, you know, if there was $100 an ounce silver, £100 an ounce silver, one of those 10-ounce coins suddenly becomes very expensive. Right now we can pick them up for, you know, £150, £160 depending on the shipping and the premiums and everything. But if it's £100 an ounce, that suddenly turns into £1,600 worth of fiat just to buy that 10-ounce coin, and finding the buyers at those prices will be tough. We've got these little half-ounce coins, also a wee gram of a gold, a little gold maple leaf in there as well, very cool. And yeah, so it's really interesting to think about you know, the size of the coin and the amount of money that's needed to find a buyer at the other end. You know, 1-ounce coins, it'll be a lot easier perhaps to find those buyers. Perfume Dragon Bars. Oh, these are the 2019s. This is the first hands-on look at the 2019s. No, this is a 2018. I was wrong, sorry. I got excited there because we have ordered something like 200 of these 2019 Perfume Dragon Bars, and I think they'll probably be coming later in another batch. We've got some 2019 Krugerrands in there, as well as a few bits of Queen's Beasts. There's a whole array of stuff. And guys, if you want to find out more about what's in all of these boxes as we go through these ridiculously monumental unboxings, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, because there will be certainly at least 1 or 2 other giant boxes like this being unboxed. There will also be some overview videos. I have no doubt as well that we will be having a look at some of these coins in a little bit more detail, some of the cooler coins which have been ordered, perhaps doing a little In Focus Friday special with Mrs. Backyard Bullion. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what quite comes out of all of these boxes. But yeah, it is pretty impressive to say the least. And one thing's for sure, like, whether you're stacking because you believe that there's going to be, you know, £100 an ounce silver, £1,000 an ounce silver, whatever price per ounce silver you think is going to come, one thing is for sure, it seems like a very good buy at the moment in the build-up to Brexit and the build-up to gosh knows what else is happening in the world right now. There's a load of other things happening in the world that you know, potentially might have impacts on finances, on wealth, on currencies, on values of currencies. I know the pound is it's like a roller coaster at the moment. It jumps up, it jumps down. It really is very difficult to predict where things are going to go. And of course, silver, gold, they really do hedge those kind of issues. So lots to consider. It's a very complex topic. Hardly can do it justice. More 10-ounce coins in here. It's 10-ounce mania in this order. And one thing I noticed about the 10-ounce dragons, so these are the 10-ounce Queen's Beast dragons, as you can see, is that the European Mint had them at an exceptionally good price. And I think Silver Forum members picked up on that, because at the time when they had some in stock, they were listing them for the same price as the unicorns, which was about 165 euros, something like that. And all of the other dealers that I see, the big ones that we've used before, Silver to Go, goldsilver.be and so on, had them all for around about 200, like 195, 200, something like that. So whether or not the European Mint missed a trick, or whether they kind of didn't miss a trick and they just thought, do you know what, we've got them, that's what we were going to sell them for, that's the kind of profit margins that we were looking to get on them when we purchased them, so let's just sell them at the same price and be done with it. You know, kudos to them. I kind of feel like it's the latter. I know, having met the Silver Forum owner and manager, that they're a very pragmatic company, and they do listen to you know, the feedback from customers constantly, and they're always looking to improve. And there is, you know, a lot of negativity to be had out there for dealers who will kind of take advantage of prices, of demand, and of different types of coins. So it's nice to see, perhaps, and I mean, I don't know, I'm just speculating, I guess, a little bit here, but it's nice to see a bit of a refreshing change to you know, the way that a dealer should work. Which kind of brings it back full circle. So let's just bring it back to the question of dealers and $100 an ounce silver, or £100 an ounce silver, whatever currency you want to work in. The good dealers out there will be the ones which will turn around their purchases very quickly. And from my experiences, the European Mint is one of those companies. You know, it all boils down to, you know, when do you sell something? And it's, you know, at the end of the day, whether you're a dealer dealing with millions of pounds worth of gold and silver on a weekly basis, or whether you're just an individual with 10, 20, 30 ounces of silver, knowing when to sell, knowing when to cash a profit is always hard. But at the end of the day, just taking a profit is a good thing. And, you know, if that's your business model, then that is absolutely fine. And that's a business model I think that, I mean, I certainly work by when I've got premium coins and I look to sell them on. You know, if we make a profit on it, that's great. You then move on to the next coin, which can look to make you profit. And you don't live with regrets. And I'm sure that the owner of the European Mint, I mean, I actually talked to him about the prices of these dragons, because when they went out of stock after the first weekend, I said, have you got any more at those prices? And he said, no, we're out. We're sold out now. So, you know, it just move on to the next thing. The next Queen's Beast Dragon, for example, when that will come out, I'm sure that will be equally as popular. And because the European Mint are doing great jobs at getting their, you know, their reputation to a level where it's seen to be one of the best in Europe for, you know, bullion exchanges, bullion dealers, you know, that's standing them in brilliant stead for the future. So good job to the European Mint, and good job on packaging that box. It's been a fun time unboxing it. It's taken quite a while, so thank you for all of you out there who have been sticking with my ramblings this last 17 minutes of unboxings. Mrs. Backyard Bullion is patiently waiting in the wings, aren't you? Say hello.
Hello.
If you can hear her, she's quite a long way away from the microphone. But she is carefully waiting in the wings, or patiently waiting in the wings, I should say, ready to help tidy up the mess which I've made on the floor with all the packaging, because you guys see the silver on the table here, which is arrayed in a very messy way. You don't see the huge mess that I've put on the floor with all of the packaging. So we have a lot of work to get through organising these. So for those of you who are new to the channel and don't know what these are all about, we, Mrs. Backyard Bullion and I, basically go through all of this, make sure that what is here should be here, tally it off, and then we package it up and send it off to everybody else, or everybody who's ordered things through the group order. So hopefully that will all be done within the next 24 hours, and some people out there will be starting to get some of their silver. And I have no doubt there'll be other huge unboxings to come in the near future. So if you want to see those, and you want to see other videos about this order, about this potentially last ever group order via the Silver Forum, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you are already subscribed and you'd like to get notifications when I upload videos, make sure you hit that alarm bell as well. In addition, let me know your thoughts on the interesting topic of what would you do if silver hit $100 an ounce. I think it's a fascinating topic, and I'd love to know other people's opinions out there, and also experiences as well. If you were around in the 2011 price hike, what did you do and what would you do in the future? So that is all we have to say today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you will have a fantastic week ahead. Thank you one and all for watching, and as always, please make sure you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.